welcome. So it's the end of another month. I can't believe we're 2 months into the year. It really doesn't feel like February has been a month at all. It's always that thing where January seems like it lasts about 4 months and then February just zips by like nothing. Having said that, I've not made an awful lot of things this month. I did say at the beginning of the January video that I need to bear in mind that January will be a lot more productive than February, and I was 100% right. So if you go back and watch that video, I made quite a lot of things in January. I had a week off during the month, so there were a few things that I got done during that week that I wouldn't ordinarily have got done. So this is everything that I made in February. So the first thing that I made is this really nice bright cardigan for my wife's cousin. She'd seen a picture of a similar looking one and sent it to me, asked if I'd be able to make it. And I love a challenge like that, going off a picture with no pattern, but because of the knowledge that is stored in the big old noodle, I was able to figure out what I wanted to do. So basically, I got the measurements that should be right. I don't actually have her measurements specifically, but based off the size of clothing she normally wears, I went and found in a shop, because I don't have any that size in my house. Um, found in a shop the right size in a jumper, and I measured it so I could work out what dimensions I would need for hers. Um, like I said, there wasn't pattern, but it's a basic granny square situation. I added a couple of rows at the underarms to help with the sort of the shaping and the sizing on that. But other than that, I made a square, measured it, and then figured out how many squares I wanted to do for the size. And then the arms are just basically in circles, keeping on going up the arms until they're the right length. I did do the ribbing in knitting because I find it a little bit easier. Like ribbing with crochet, I find quite tedious, and I think it looks quite nice. I like the effect that it has, and yeah, that worked quite well. So the color choice, I basically went off what the original photo had, in essence, not the exact shades, because I don't know what yarn was used, and this is the colors that were in the yarn that I chose. I chose a cotton yarn, so it's nice and light for the spring, so it's not heavy and hot when she wears it. It can be layered up if it's a chilly day. So with the colors, the way that I chose which colors were going in which squares, I used a trick which is really good for color work in knitting when you're doing like a knitted pattern. And I took a photo of all the yarns that I'd bought, and then I made it grayscale, basically removed all saturation so that I could see which colors were darker and which were lighter. And then I made sure that I alternated those. So for example, this is light dark light, but then this one is dark light dark, so they kind of play off each other, so it really pops on the vibrancy of the color, I find. And it worked out really well. I didn't have a plan for the colors of the like the order of the colors of the squares. I just tried to make sure that I didn't have ones that were too similar next to each other. So I didn't want to have like too orange on the outside or too green on the outside next to each other. And I think I managed to make it kind of work. It doesn't look jarring to me. It probably wouldn't matter in the end, and I don't think that the recipient will mind that much. But to me, it really mattered. It's like little details like that that I like to sort of get my teeth into. Um, I don't actually know if this is going to fit her. It should do based on the measurements of the jumper that I found, because she's not actually got it yet. I'll be giving it to her this weekend, so fingers crossed it's right for her and she's happy with it. So this is a pair of socks that I made as like a tester pattern. They are actually slightly different because I have a pattern that I use when I'm making socks for sock weight yarn, but this is made of DK yarn, and I wanted to basically sort of transpose the pattern so that I could make socks with DK yarn because they work up a little bit faster, and there are some really nice yarns that I want to make socks out of. So I took my existing pattern and I basically scaled it down or scaled it up to work with a slightly thicker yarn and bigger needles. I did one sock first. I think it was the bottom one that I did first. And when it got to the end, I think it was a bit too pointy, especially when I put it on my foot. It looked really pointy and I wasn't happy with that. So what I did was I added some more stitches to the foot but took some off the toe so that there were more stitches at the end. So when it gets pulled in, it's got a rounder look. You can't really tell the difference too much in this photo, but when I had them on my feet, I could definitely tell the difference. The only downside to this is now I'm going to make loads more socks. So the next thing, Mum, if you're watching this, please look away if you don't want to ruin your birthday surprise. I mean, it's not too much of a surprise. You know what you're getting, but you don't know what it's going to look like yet. So I will try and let you know when you can jump back in. So this is what I've made for my mum. If you've watched the January video, you'll see the pencil case that I made for a family member's birthday. This is along the same lines, but with different yarn and different colours. Um, these are really, really handy. I've got a load of them. Now I've got this one right here, a little zippy pouch. You can use a pencil case or, whatever you might need a little zipped pouch for. All right, Mum, you can look again now. So this is a gift bag. Probably not going to use it for Mum's birthday present because it's a bit small, but it's just basically knitting in the round as a tube and then casting it off to make a little bag. I've written down the way that I made it in case anyone wants to make anything similar. My favourite part about it is the bit where I've done the yarn off and knit two together to make the holes for the drawstring. You can't really tell because I've used the same yarns for the drawstring through it. If it was a different one, you'd be able to see it. But because of the way that I've done it, where on the third row of 5 for the ribbon, I've done the knit two together, so that stitch sits where the knit would be, and then the yarn over is where the purl would happen. So it still has those ribbed columns as you can see them. I think it works out quite well. I've not done that before. It just sort of came to me as I was knitting it, and I thought it'd be a nice one to try and do. And that's it. That's all I've made this month. Thank you for joining me. If you would like to find me elsewhere, the link to my link tree is in the doobly doo. Bye for now.